Good morning, boys and girls. Miss Boger here, and I hope you have a great Monday. Today you're going to be doing day 5 tasks. So you'll be taking your open book test on Sloan Fox. You'll be doing your plural nouns worksheet. You're going to be doing some math practice pages. We're going to be doing a new lesson in math. We're going to be doing some writing, cursive, and then we will be doing social studies, okay? Today, before we start getting really focused into our math lesson, I'm going to be going over a little review because I heard some of you have been struggling, and I don't want you to be struggling. So I'm going to do a little short review of fractions, and then we'll get going on to our lesson for today. Okay, boys and girls? All right. So I made a little sheet that we're just going to go over together. You don't have to write any of this down. You can if you want. Just get a blank piece of paper. I'll give you a few seconds, or just pause the video real quick so you can maybe do the work with me if you want, all right? So we're going to start with going over what numerator means and what denominator means. Numerator is the top number of the fraction, and denominator is the bottom number. So here's a little hint for you right here. I have numerator on top and denominator on the bottom. So top and bottom. Numerator is on top. Denominator is the bottom, okay? So those are some of our vocab words we'll be working with throughout this lesson that are super important. The next thing I want to go over with is when you get to a question that asks for 2 equal parts. So like right here, this one right here, it says 2 equal parts. I want you to divide this rectangle into 2 equal parts. So if you do that, you want to put it down the middle because you want 2 equal parts. You have one part here and the second part here. So that has 2 equal parts, 1 and 2. Okay? Does that make a little more sense? All right, let's try another one. This one says 3 equal parts. So we have a rectangle and we need to divide that rectangle equally into 3 parts. So we're going to put 2 little lines to make it into 3 equal parts. You see how they're equal? 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so these are 3 equal parts right here. 1 part, 2 part, 3 part. If we were to write these parts as a fraction, it would be there's 3 parts total and 1 part. So each of these parts of the rectangle would be 1/3. Okay, now I want you to look back at this problem. What would our fraction be for each of those parts of the rectangle? Did you guess 1/2? Well, you are correct. So you would have 1/2. Okay? All right, so now we're going to look at 4 equal parts. Just the same, we're just going to divide it into equal 4 parts, okay? So you'll have about 3 lines divided equally into 4 parts. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Can anyone guess what that fraction would be? If there's 4 parts total and each part is 1, what would our fraction be? I'll give you a few seconds. Did you guess 1/4? Well, you are correct. Each part of this rectangle is 1/4. Okay? And I hope you can see that. I know it's kind of difficult, but trying the best that I can. All right, now let's try one more. 8 equal parts. How would we divide a rectangle into 8 equal parts? Take a second to think about that. It's just like what we've been doing. Okay, so we have a rectangle that looks like this. There's 8 equal parts. What would our fraction be? Did you guess 1/8? You are correct, because there's 8 parts total. So you put the 8 on the bottom. And then how many is each part? 1. So 1/8. Okay? So it would look like this. That's how you would write that. Okay? This is 1/8. And altogether you get 1 whole, which is 1/8 of a fraction. Stuff like that, okay? All right. Another part we're going to go over is I drew a circle that has different colors, okay? We have blue, purple, yellow, red, green, and orange, okay? So, if I were to ask you, what part of the circle, what fraction would be blue and green? Well, look, how many parts of the circle is blue? 1. How many part of the circle is green? 2. So your top number would be 2 because blue and green is 2, okay? And how many parts total are there? Let's see if you can count that up. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what would be our denominator? Did you guess 6? You're correct. So the part that's blue and green is 2/6. Okay? Now I want you to try to figure that out. What part of the circle is purple, yellow, and red? So look at that. We have purple, yellow, and red. What would be our denominator, class? We know that there are 6 equals parts, so that would be on the bottom. And how many little sections of the circle are we looking at? Purple, yellow, and red? 3? Yep, so that would be your numerator. Okay? Just like that. So, I hope that helped explain that. And then, now, we're going to flip back to this front page. I kind of messed up a little bit. But we're going to be looking at, we have 4 cups. So we have 4 cups, okay? So how many of the cups are shaded? Well, how many cups are there total? There's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we know that that will be our denominator, okay? And how many are shaded? Well, if you look closely, there's 1, 2, 3. So what's the fraction of the shaded number of cups? 3/4, okay? And then if I were to ask you, how many of the cups are not shaded? Well, you know that there's 4 cups total, so that'd be your denominator. And there's only 1 not shaded, so that would be your fraction. So you have 3/4 for the cups shaded and 1/4 for the cups not shaded. Okay? Does that make a little more sense, boys and girls? I hope that was a quick review on fractions. And now we are going to be working on our lesson today, which is fractions on a number line. So it's basically the same thing. You're just going to be doing it on a number line instead of making like circles or squares or any other shape like that, okay? So we're going to be doing it on a number line. So the first question, let's open up your packet to this page. It looks like this, okay? Please open it up to that. The first thing says, represent the fractions 1/3, 2/3, and 3/3 on a number line. Start at the left, so you're going to start at the left and you're going to make a number line, okay? So you have your number line. And it's labeled 0 and 1, okay? So it looks something like this. So now it's asking you to place 1/3 and 2/3 and 3/3 on the number line. So how many parts total is this fraction? Did you guess 3? You're correct. So you're going to equally divide your number line into 3 equal parts. So this is how I did it. So do you see how there's 1 part here, 1 part here, and 1 part here, okay? So if this is 0, what would this fraction be? Did you guess 1/3? You are correct. That's 1/3. So if this is 1/3, what is this? It'd be 2/3. Okay? And then if you look at this one, it says to label 3/3 on a number line. So what would 3/3 be? Boys and girls, if you have any number over itself, that equals 1. So for example, like 3/3. You have 3/3, that equals 1. If it's 6/6, it equals 1. If it's 8/8, it equals 1. If it's 100/100, it equals 1. So any number over itself, that if the numerator and the denominator are the same, it always equals 1. So that's how you know where to place the 3/3, is because it's 1. Okay? So that's what it's asking on that first page. I'm going to flip over to the second page. On this part, it's asking you to label where 1/3 and 2/3 would go on the number line, and it would be just like this. So fill in those boxes. Okay? And then, yeah, so this assignment is pretty easy. You're just labeling your numbers on the fraction line, okay? Or your fractions on the number line, my bad. So like, let's look at number 4. It says practice it. We're in the practice it section, okay? So look at number 4. Label each unknown with a fraction of the whole it represents. So it's asking you to place the numbers on a number line. I'm going to draw my number line, okay? And it has it labeled 0 and 1. And then it has 5 tick marks in the middle. I kind of did it bad, but you get the idea. You have 5 tick marks between 0 and 1, okay? And every section is 1/6. Okay, so look at that. It's 1/6. So this is what you have. Your paper should look something like this, okay? And now on the tick marks right here, it's asking you to label the fraction. So what would the first one be? Did you guess 1/6? You are correct. What would be the second one? Well, if you see that there's 2 groups of 1/6, what would it be? You're right, 2/6. Now same thing. There's 3 groups of 1/6, 1, 2, and 3. So what would this one be? 3/6. And then you continue to 4/6 and 5/6. And then what does 1 equal? If it's out of 6, what would be our 1? Did you guess 6/6? You are correct. So it's just asking you to place the fractions on a number line. Okay, boys and girls? That's basically all we have to do. Let's do one word problem, okay? So let's go to the apply it section of our homework, okay? Going to apply it. And we're going to do number 12. So it says 12. Mac drank 2/4 of his fruit smoothie. Label the fraction on the number line which represents the portion of the fruit smoothie Mac drank. So I'm going to draw my number line. And I know it says that it's out of 4. Okay, so this is what mine looks like. Again, it's 4/4 equals 1. Okay, so we need to label our number line. So can you label that for me? So you know it's out of 4, so what will be our denominator on all of these tick marks? 4? Correct. So you're going to label your number line 4/4. Okay? Now, what would be the numerator? This one would be 1, 2, and 3. Okay? So you know that this is 1/4, this is 2/4, 3/4, and 4/4, which equals 1. So it said Mac drank 2/4 of his fruit smoothie. So I want you to circle the fraction that says 2/4. This is your answer for this first problem. Okay, boys and girls? All right, so now that you have an idea of how to do a number problem and you had a little bit of a review over what we did last week and our lesson today, I hope you understand how to write fractions on a number line. Okay, boys and girls? If you need any help, you are more than welcome to FaceTime me and ask me questions, or you can have your parents message me and ask questions. I'm open all day, okay? I hope you have a great rest of your Monday, and I can't wait to see you again. I miss you all so much. Bye.